Okay, I'm ready. I think. I don't feel comfortable going in a place like this. Let's see.
Obviously, asbestos chrysotile in the soil.
My name is Daniel Lambo. I'm a filmmaker, and this has been my most challenging and personal film.
Nearly 600,000 square meters of asbestos waste. Largest asbestos waste dump in India and possibly even South Asia.
A story of ordinary people fighting a global industry that's been getting away with mass murder. An industry protected by powerful politicians. And it all starts in my small village in Belgium. I had a wonderful childhood in this green paradise. Just opposite my home, there's a big company, Etex Eternit. Thousands of people work there. My father worked there too, as a union man. I worked in the factory during the holidays, so I could buy my first camera. Etex Eternit paid for our houses, food, and my studies. It brought a lot of prosperity to families in the region. This was the unquestioned reality of my youth. One day, more than 50 years later, an Indian lawyer comes to my village. Apparently, Etex Eternit has a dark and hidden history, buried in India.
You run a factory in another country and you don't tell these people that it's unsafe. You don't provide any proper safety equipment. You dump asbestos like this and then you leave. There's a huge rise in the use of asbestos in India. In around 1998, 2000, it increases a lot sharply. And that's because between 1998 and around 2004, I think, asbestos became banned in Europe.
Etex Eternit is a company that made asbestos products. Asbestos is a mineral that can be mined like coal.
L'amiante, c'est des fibres. Une fibre d'amiante, c'est en réalité des millions et des millions de petites fibres qu'on ne voit pas à l'œil nu, qu'on ne distingue même pas au microscope ordinaire.
In the early 50s, asbestos fiber mixed with cement was considered a miracle product that was meant to last for eternity.
Nous avons une grande chance, au fond, dans l'industrie que nous avons, c'est que l'amiante et le ciment, ça constitue ce que j'aimerais appeler un mariage parfait.
This miracle product was used in houses, schools, public buildings. Even the European Commission building in Brussels was packed full of asbestos products. It became a booming business, making the owners of Etex Eternit, the Emsens family, one of the richest in Belgium. In 1964, scientific research by American Dr. Selikoff proved that asbestos was lethal. As a union man, my father knew about this scientific proof. He did his best to warn the workers, but many of his colleagues became sick. Inhaling asbestos fibers can cause asbestosis, lung cancer, and mesothelioma. Breathing in these fibers for even short periods of time can cause cancer. The symptoms of this cancer can take many years to develop, 15 years, sometimes 30 to 40 years, and there is no known cure. Why didn't my father warn me about the dangers? Why did he allow me to work in this deadly dust? Just before he died, he even told me to leave the matter alone. For him, asbestos was a thing of the past. I decided to ignore his last wish and prove that the company he worked for is part of a worldwide industry that is causing death and destruction till this day.
Hallo. Alles goed? Het is zeker geen probleem van de verleden. Hè? Het is nog een groot probleem voor onze toekomst en onze kinderen.
Eric is an activist who founded ABEVA, an organization for victims of asbestos.
Kennen jullie misschien deze mensen?
Dat is een buur.
Het is een buurman. Een broer? Het is een broer?
Maar mijn man is ook, en die staat er niet op, mijn man, de schoolzuster, zijn ook allemaal van asbestos.
Oké.
Mijn schoonvader is eraan gestorven in 62.
Oké.
Mijn schoonvader.
Hij werkte ook bij het
heeft altijd niet gewerkt.
Wat was de naam van uw schoonvader? Tielemans. Tielemans Albert?
Nee.
Nee?
Dadelijk ken ik ook, ja.
Ja?
Dadelijk ken ik maar.
Jawel, we moeten een nieuwe naam op onze lijst schrijven. Is dat oké voor jullie? Zo de naam van hun schoonvader op de lijst.
Dan weet je dat bij zit als je wilt, ja.
Het is niet... Oké.
Dan weet je dat je daarbij zit.
Mijn vader heeft 40 jaar geleden 1 jaar in de Eternitfabriek gewerkt. En is dan 40 jaar later gestorven aan mesothelioom. Toen hij ziek werd, was hij al bezig met zijn afscheid. En dacht hij ook wel van, als je mij later wilt herdenken, dan kun je het misschien het beste doen met de fiets, omdat hij zo graag fietste. Toen me wel iets dat mijn vader zijn naam in die naam van de fietstocht verwerkt is.
Omdat we dit jaar de 10e editie is, hebben we speciaal gekozen voor een met voetweg.
Bert now organizes an annual bicycle tour that not only commemorates his father, but all the victims of asbestos.
Rond asbest is er nog altijd een soort omerta hier in de streek. Mensen praten er zeker niet graag over. En dan is die fietstocht zo een zachtere insteek om mensen toch informatie over asbest mee te geven.
Il n'est pas facile de parler d'éternité ici. Parce qu'on est à 400 mètres des usines, parce que des gens travaillent probablement encore à l'usine. Et stigmatiser l'usine, c'est quelque chose qui ne se fait pas.
Today, 700 people still work at ETEX Eternit. The company no longer makes asbestos products, but it is still powerful. Which may explain why 4 of my former school friends did not want to talk to me, even though all of them have lost family members to asbestos. Another of my school friends, whose father died, did not want to talk to me because his sister is still employed by the company. Up to 2007, ETEX Eternit still tried to silence the victims by paying them compensation.
Mijn moeder heeft vroeger een schadevergoeding van €42.000 gekregen. Dan moest zij wel een document tekenen van Eternit, waarin het stond dat ze eigenlijk geen rechtszaak meer mocht aanspannen.
Zwijggeld, eigenlijk.
Dat is zwijggeld. Ze hebben dat dan 2 maal gestort, per vergissing of als extraatje. Dat weten we niet zeker. Ze hebben dan wel een vergissing ingezien en gevraagd om het geld terug te storten.
Durven, hè?
Mijn vader leefde toen nog. De CEO, André Osten, is toen bij ons thuis geweest. En zei leukweg van, ja, we hebben een vergissing gemaakt, we zouden graag dat geld terug hebben.
Geen excuses, geen sorry.
Excuses, nee, niks. Het ging gewoon vooral over dat geld. Punt.
Hier zeker in Capelle bestaan nog altijd zo'n soort onbegrijpelijke loyaliteit ten opzichte van de fabriek. Van, ze hebben ons werk gegeven, we hebben onze boterham er verdiend. Maar het is niet omdat je je boterham verdient dat die werkgever het recht heeft van je bloot te stellen aan zaken die uiteindelijk je dood tot gevolg kunnen hebben. Je rechterlong hoor ik niks. Ja, links is er uiteraard niks te horen omdat de long weg is. Hè.
This is Jan. His brother was in my class in the 70s. There is no cure for mesothelioma, and that makes Jan's case very unique.
Eind jaren 80 heb ik 2 jaar telkens een maand vakantiewerk gedaan bij de Eternitfabriek. En 20 jaar later is er dan effectief een mesothelioom vastgesteld bij mij. Enkele onderzoeken later is dan effectief ook mijn linkerlong weggenomen. Maar behoor ik tegelijkertijd op een heel select clubje van slechts 30 mensen die langer dan 5 jaar na die operatie nog in leven zijn. Mijn moeder en haar broers en zoiets werkten allemaal bij Eternit. Maar het is op die manier dat ik er in feite vakantiewerk gaan doen ben in 1989 en 1990.
Ik probeer mijn vader eigenlijk te begrijpen waarom hij, ik denk in volle wetenschap dat asbest gevaarlijk was, want hij was vakbondsman, mij toch vakantiewerk heeft laten doen.
Ik denk niet dat ze toenertijd in konden schatten hoe gevaarlijk het was. Ik kan mij niet inbeelden dat de top van het bedrijf daar niet van op de hoogte geweest is. En dat er heel vaak gezegd wordt van we wassen onze handen in onschuld, we wisten van niks. En dat is een flagrante leugen.
C'est un cancer extrêmement rare. En Belgique, l'année passée, sur 120 000 décès, il y en a eu 10 cas.
Est-ce que ces cas, est-ce qu'on a pu déterminer une relation avec l'amiante?
Ça, je ne peux pas dire. Ce que je peux vous affirmer est ceci, que parmi la population ouvrière que je suis, je n'ai vu nullement un cas de mésothéliome parmi nos ouvriers.
Dr. Lepoutre was hier een huisarts in Capelle van den Bosch die ook bedrijfsarts was van Eternit. En ik denk dat daar toch wel conflict situaties kunnen ontstaan als je betaald wordt door Eternit. En dan moet gaan zeggen van we zijn hier met producten aan het werken die de gezondheid kunnen schaden.
On doit connaître la concentration auquel les ouvriers qui travaillent actuellement à l'amiante sont exposés. Et alors, dans 30, 40 ou 50 ans, quand ils seront morts, on va voir la raison pour laquelle ils sont morts et on pourra voir si cette mort a une relation avec leur travail dans l'industrie de l'amiante.
Uiteindelijk is hij er zelf aan overleden. Wiens brood men eet, diens woord men spreekt. Ik vrees dat dat daar zeker en wel van toepassing geweest is.
Weet je nog wie hier ligt, Victor?
Papi, ja.
Dat is jouw opa, hè?
Ja.
Ja. En weet je waarom die hier dan ligt?
Nee.
Want die is gestorven, hè? Maar wat weet je daar nog van eigenlijk, van papier? Dingen dat hij graag deed, weet je dat?
Fietsen.
Fietsen, ja. Fietsen heel veel, hè? En heel graag.
En die liste ook heel graag spruitjes.
Ja, die is graag spruitjes. Die laatste weken en maanden waren ook wel heel pijnlijk voor hem. Door de pijnstillers heeft het uiteindelijk zijn laatste adem uitgeblazen. En ik zat daar samen met mijn zussen en mijn moeder rond zijn bed.
Pijnlijk moment.
Pijnlijk moment, maar we hadden wel veel mensen vonden achteraf raar. We hebben eigenlijk allemaal opgelucht, omdat dan die pijn voor hem voorbij was.
Hoeveel mensen die aan asbest zijn gestorven liggen er hier, denkt u?
Ja, er zullen er heel veel bij zijn. Hè. Ik zou ze niet willen tellen. Hier zijn er al zeker 2 mensen waarvan ik het weet. Die is eraan gestorven. En hier zij ook. Hierachter ligt er nog iemand. En waarschijnlijk zullen er in alle hoeken wel liggen. Hè.
I could find no official scientific statistics about the number of people dying of asbestos-related diseases in my village.
Zeker als pastoor word je geconfronteerd met de verwoesting die toch wel asbest aanricht en aangericht heeft. Als ik zie hoeveel uitvaart ik gehad heb, mag je toch wel zeggen dat 30% zeker. Ja. 2020 tot 2025 kom je nog aan een piekperiode.
Ja.
Het schijnt, hè? Ja.
Dus
staat u nog wat te wachten. According to the World Health Organization, officially, more than 300,000 citizens are expected to die from mesothelioma by 2030 in the EU.
Ja, dus hier een beetje verder links hebben we nog een van de laatste wegen die OVAM moet saneren.
In the past, it was Eternit's policy to provide asbestos waste to farmers to stabilize their country roads.
Hier ligt precies nog een stukje van asbest.
Dat zo. Ja. Is het zeker? Ah ja, ik denk het wel.
Maar dat is zo'n typisch voorbeeld. Hè. Een landweg of een boerenweg die dan verhard werd met draailingen. die ze gratis kregen bij de fabriek. Dan waren ze direct van hun afval af.
Ja, en alle velden hier in de streek die zijn omheind met asbestbuizen.
Dat is eigenlijk overschot, want vroeger werden die buizen gebruikt voor waterleidingen en zo meer.
A government organization estimates that there is still 3.7 million tons of asbestos waste in Flanders.
In Capelle-den-Bosch zijn er heel wat basisscholen, ook middelbare scholen, die nog vol zitten met asbest. Die hebben dat vroeger cadeau gekregen van de fabriek om in lokalen en gangen af te werken.
Cynisch is dat eigenlijk, om asbest als een cadeau te geven aan een school.
Ja, dat is inderdaad heel cynisch. Nu is het wel mondjesmaat dat ze dat saneren natuurlijk, maar dat kost heel veel geld. En dat is geld dat scholen dan zelf vaak niet hebben.
Maar het is wel goed als ze daar niet gebetoneerd zit.
Now disabled with only one lung, Jan renovates his new house himself.
Want anders als we daar moeten... Het is niet zo dat we zonder nadenken die buis in dit geval kunnen verwijderen.
Jan bought a house in our village. Like lots of houses built in the 60s, this one too is full of Ethics-Eternit's asbestos.
Bij hetzelfde gaan we de buis toch al nat maken. Dat is een klein het risico. We gaan die buis voorlopig laten liggen. Er moet nog een volledig dak afgebroken worden van een garage en de volledige binnenbekleding. Er zijn nog waspalen, er zijn nog afboordingen in de tuin. Venstertabletten voor tegels. We zien uiteraard ook aan welke producent deze roodschuiven afkomstig zijn. Bij mij is het dak al wel vernieuwd. Bij mijn buren ziet u dat er nog steeds asbesthoudende leien op het dak liggen. En als we de daken in Capelle-den-Bosch bekijken, dan mogen we er toch wel van uitgaan dat 70-80% van de daken bedekt zijn met eternite leien die nog steeds asbest bevatten.
Ik denk dat deze een van de hoogste punten in Capelle is. En dat is allemaal asbestafval. Netjes verpakt.
Ethics-Eternit dumped their asbestos waste in a toxic landfill site and built a sports hall and an athletics track on top of it. Each year, a triathlon event is organized. Ethics-Eternit still remains the generous sponsor of this event.
Ik zou misschien graag zelf een triathlon doen, maar bij mij is die mogelijkheid er gewoon niet meer. Maar ik heb dan wel plezier dat ik andere mensen de mogelijkheid kan geven om een triathlon te doen.
And this year Jan is the chairman of the organization.
In principe is het wel op een asbeststort dat de finish is.
Oké, dat is een gegeven dat in feite zal blijven spelen als je in campagnes gaat organiseren. Maar anderzijds natuurlijk moet ook wel blij zijn dat er niet wilt meewerken daarin, want uiteindelijk worden ze nogal veel in negatief daglicht gesteld.
Ideaal weer op de supporter, ik heb het al verteld.
De periode van vervuiling was ook onder een ander bestuur, het bestuur dat er nu al lang niet meer is. Je kunt niet in je verleden blijven leven, ook niet. Hetgeen dat gebeurd is gebeurd.
Papa est un ingénieur technicien. Il a été engagé chez Eternit en 1953. Et il a développé un mésothéliome qui a été diagnostiqué à Bruxelles. Et il est décédé 6 mois plus tard, en 1987. Il est mort dans des douleurs très graves, très graves.
Ton père, il n'était pas au courant des dangers de l'amiante?
Si ton patron, alors que ton bureau est blanc de poussière le matin, et qui frotte la main sur le bureau et qui lèche. Il dit, Pierre, si c'était dangereux, je ne ferais pas ça. Alors, on fait confiance et on continue.
Mais ça a été le... Je dis ça a été l'effondrement. C'est un de mes fils qui l'a annoncé parce que le professeur l'avait averti le matin. Et alors c'est le soir qu'il me l'a dit, tu sais maman, voilà, tu as la même maladie que papa. Je dis, c'est pas vrai. Ça a été le... C'était incroyable.
Une fois qu'elle a été diagnostiquée, j'ai demandé à mes supérieurs si elles pouvaient m'accompagner en vol. On est quelque part au-dessus de l'Atlantique. Elle est toute contente.
Et quelques mois après,
c'était en juillet, donc elle est décédée.
Françoise left behind 5 sons. Eric is the eldest.
On va aller voir Capelle. Je vais te montrer à quoi ça ressemble. Éternite, Théo. Quand maman est tombée malade, elle a dit « Oui, mais si moi, j'ai mes poumons qui sont pleins d'amiante, qu'est-ce qui se passe avec mes enfants ?» On a découvert que certains de mes frères avaient des taux d'amiante quasiment égaux à ceux de notre papa. Scout Uniform Alpha is now over at the target area. We're going to do a few 360s.
Daar zie je de fabriek, hè. Het is goed gelegen, hè. Een spoor naar Mechelen en het kanaal naar Brussel.
Eric and his family lived in the shadow of the factory. Françoise and the 5 brothers got exposed because of asbestos in the environment.
Votre maison, elle était loin de l'entreprise?
Oh non, on traversait la rue et l'entrée de l'usine était à 50 mètres. Et les bateaux qu'on déchargeait étaient à 100 mètres, on allait voir ça. Avec les enfants, je me souviens, c'était un but de promenade.
2 ans après, c'est Pierre-Paul qui a été diagnostiqué d'un mésothéliome. Il est mort quelques mois après, en 2003, à 43 ans.
C'est ton frère?
C'est mon premier frère. Puis Stéphane a été diagnostiqué également en période de Noël, en 2007. Et il est décédé, lui, en 2009, laissant aussi derrière lui 3 enfants, 43 ans. Bon, c'est atroce. C'était chaque fois des moments où on se remettait du décès du précédent que bouffe une autre mauvaise nouvelle arrivait, quoi. Donc c'est vrai que pour moi, les fêtes de Noël ne sont plus jamais les fêtes de famille que l'on avait.
Before she died, Françoise refused compensation and courageously started a lawsuit against Etex Eternit.
Volgens de familie Jonkeren wist Eternit dat asbest uiterst gevaarlijk en schadelijk voor de gezondheid was. Maar de advocaat van het bedrijf zegt dat zijn cliënt dat niet wist en dus ook geen fout maakte.
Eternit, met de kennis die toen aanwezig was, heeft gehandeld zoals van een normaal industrieel geplaatst in dezelfde omstandigheden kon worden verwacht. En haar treft derhalve geen fout.
Etex Eternit's policy has always been to minimize the dangers of asbestos.
Nos poumons ont été créés par le Seigneur, à mon sens, pour respirer de l'air pur des Ardennes, l'air pur de la mer. Ils n'ont pas été créés pour respirer de la poussière. Quand vous coupez une plaque d'amiante ciment, vous avez de la poussière qui se dégage, et il est certain que ça n'est pas souhaitable. Maintenant, des études que nous avons fait faire, très poussées, à l'Université de Louvain, prouvent que même au moment du sciage, il y a très peu d'amiante libre, et c'est celui-là qui est en cause, qui se dégage, et que le danger est donc pratiquement nul, je dirais. Pratiquement nul.
Manager Van der Rest died of an asbestos-related disease. In 1976, Van der Rest became the president of the AIA and lobbied hard to promote asbestos. Asbestos in the environment is classified as an extremely low risk, just like taking 1 beer per day. Etex Eternit flourished and soon became a multinational company with factories in the Netherlands, France, Spain, Italy, all over Europe. When Françoise died, Eric took up her legal battle and became an international activist. He organizes international delegations of asbestos victims to visit the head office of Etex Eternit.
C'est donc ici qu'avec Françoise, nous avons rencontré le CEO d'Eternit en 2000, alors qu'elle était déjà fort malade. Si elle fut la première personne à traîner Eternit devant les tribunaux, c'est parce qu'une femme courage a refusé cet argent du silence, parce que pour elle, il était impossible de se taire.
The activists hoped to confront the management of the mother plant, but they kept hiding.
Can be dangerous. We are on the ethics ground now.
Just a sign.
It's just a sign.
It's just a sign.
To express your anger or...
Yeah, no, just to make a sign. They will remember us, our visit, and our fight.
La multinazionale delle vittime. La multinazionale. Loro hanno la multinazionale dei soldi e noi abbiamo la multinazionale delle vittime.
Gli amici.
Many international asbestos corporations went bankrupt because of asbestos victims' lawsuits. Etex Eternit took over factories from troubled competitors, and so they became a dominant world player. In 1981, in a meeting, Etex Eternit had a new opportunity to benefit from. Fiber demand in developing countries is expected to continue to rise over the long term. Etex Eternit soon acquired asbestos factories in developing countries in Africa, South America, and Asia. In India, Etex Eternit had 5 factories. One of these factories, in Kaimor, is well known to Indian lawyer Tublu Mukherjee.
That factories have been opened up in India to take advantage of lax laws.
It makes me angry because of in Europe it's an ending story. There is no production anymore of asbestos, and they are cleaning up all the mess. But here we are still producing.
Het feit dat er eigenlijk een Europees verbod is op asbest is verkeerd. Zolang dat er geen wereldwijd verbod komt op asbest, zal de problematiek aanhouden.
We are contemplating trying to bring a case in Belgium. I mean, it's not easy here either, but as Eric obviously knows. But
16 years of battle also.
For our court case, we were able to prove that since 1963 they knew.
So no way they can say when they were doing that in the 90s, until 2002, they cannot say that they didn't know. Look at it, it's everywhere.
What's happened is nothing less than corporate homicide. If you made a decision that has cost the lives of people, then you should be held accountable for it in a criminal court.
I wanted to see Kaimor myself, but I was hesitating. I've been exposed to asbestos my whole life. Like most of my villagers, my lungs are affected. And I think my father would have warned me not to go to India. And then I received a strange email from a British filmmaker, Rob Moore. He said he was also developing a film about asbestos and was keen for us to talk.
And for giving me this opportunity to show this film to all the amazing people in this room. And it features some of the very first and the very few people in India who have actually been diagnosed.
He was very well informed and asked me all kinds of questions. But I decided that I wanted to tell the Indian story in full by myself.
Hey, Daniel.
Hey, Tublu.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Give a little hug.
Okay.
Good. Come in, come in. You must be tired after your long journey.
Yes, very tired.
Yeah.
A long journey.
Yeah.
all the way to the heart of India.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Central India. Welcome to the Everest Industries plant, which was the home of the Eternit E-Tech subsidiary, and now it's owned by its Indian bosses.
The factory was built in the 30s by an English company. Etex Eternit bought the company in '89 and named it Everest. When asbestos was banned in Belgium in '98, Etex Eternit kept asbestos production going until 2002. Then they sold their business to an Indian family. The current Indian owners did not want us to film in the factory.
We can see it better from the top.
Yeah.
But local people took me and Tublu to their rooftop.
This is the mother plant. In fact, this was the first asbestos sheet plant in India.
This brings also back memories, you know.
Yeah, of
It's
course,
very
of course.
similar. Even the roof of the factory is very similar.
So how many people work in the factory now?
Nowadays, near about 250 people are.
And it runs 24 hours.
Yeah,
Every day.
three shifts, right? 3 8-hour
Every day,
shifts.
7 of 7.
We can clearly see the sheets over there being piled up. Then they'll be taken and sold. This factory is for the north, so it should be sold anywhere in the north. The asbestos sheets are all stacked up here, the fiber cement sheets, which are the ones that are used in India. He sells everything from soap to toothpaste and sweets. So he's selling asbestos sheets with sweets. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine.
Good. So this is your shop. ये आपका दुकान है.
हाँ.
And is it a popular product?
हाँ,
Does it
popular
sell?
product. Asbestos product.
काफी सेल होगा.
हाँ, अच्छा सेल इसका.
अच्छा
जैसे
सेल.
छोटे-छोटे लोग, ग्रामीण लोग, जैसे मानसून आने का है, तो उसके पहले लोगों का जिसका डिस्टर्ब हुआ कुछ तो था.
प्राइस कितना है?
3 मीटर 500 समथिंग होना चाहिए.
500 and something. और ये इस वाला?
ये 50 rupees.
It's promoted as poor man's roof number 1, and it's much cheaper than the alternatives. I mean, this costs 50 rupees, you know, so you can cover your house for less than 500 rupees. Yeah, I mean that's good. Any alternative would be significantly more expensive than that. So what we know is that the fiber cement sheets after some time start to degrade, and we can even see it already in these new sheets. Yeah, at the edge of it, it's already started degrading, and then the fibers will come out from that. तो आप कैसे लग रहा है ये शीट?
ये तो मैं तो इसकी बुराई नहीं कर सकता. माय पापा 40 ईयर
अच्छा
एवरेस्ट सर्विस कर.
अच्छा
कि फाइबर से कुछ नहीं, प्लांट से कोई प्रॉब्लम. मेन प्रॉब्लम ये नहीं है, ये पॉलिटिक्स प्रॉब्लम.
पॉलिटिक्स प्रॉब्लम क्या है?
नेता लोग अपनी रोटी सेकना.
If you go anywhere in India, you'll see fiber cement roofing advertised as being a kind of strong building material that lasts for a long time, that will protect you from the sun, it'll protect you from the rain. You go to Mumbai or you go to any Indian city, you'll see hundreds and hundreds of tons of asbestos.
Since 1997, when companies closed in the West, the consumption of asbestos products quadrupled in India.
चेहरा भी आ जाए ना, ये कह रही तुम वहीं चले जाओ. ओके ले भैया, ठीक है, खुश है. We used to sleep on a bag full of asbestos. Yeah, while I was working in the factory, during the rest time for half an hour. Where to go? Okay, sleep over it. I have done that. It was clearly written from this bag is from Canada, this bag is from Russia, this bag is from South Africa.
My father said sometimes they made with water snowballs and they
Yeah.
Did you do that?
They used to put
in your pants.
You will think many ants are there under the pant. Yes, it was done.
And then you went home scratching.
Scratching all the time. This is my wife, Nirmala.
Nirmala. Nice to meet you. You live
Without
here?
any dirt, that is called Nirmala.
Okay.
Bim and Nirmala live in the shadow of the factory.
This is our house.
The houses built by the factory for the workers are entirely constructed from asbestos sheets. The area they live on is known as the asbestos compound.
How do you feel about living in this house?
I am become habituated. It's all right.
Whatever this factory has provided, we have to live with it. We have to cope with them.
So as a teacher, I was very happy. I used to deal with the small children and they're like a god. I used to enjoy their talk.
They're in a classroom and on the other side of the fence there is waste. Weren't you worried about them?
The school boundary is separate. And beside that, they dump, na? The classroom is quite separate from them. So ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. I was not afraid of, because I never knew about the harm of the asbestos. That is the main thing.
And the children didn't know either?
No, nobody knew. Even the workers, they were not knowing. Otherwise, they would have not worked over here, isn't it?
My father was a union man also, exactly like you, and he made very big trouble in Eternit, Belgium, exactly like you. He was never fired, or they never forced him to go away, but many times came very close, very close.
I tried to warn the workers that you should be careful while dealing with the fiber. One day management called upon me and told me, he threatened me even. In fact, literally he threatened me. I told them, before you kick me away, I will leave your factory. But I will show you who am I. Okay. I'm not easy to be dealt.
Because of an ongoing conflict with the management about safety regulations, Bim stopped working in the factory.
Okay, I'm ready, I think.
Obviously, asbestos, chrysotile in the soil.
Goats crawling on asbestos.
This is the Everest Industries School over there. It's got 400 students with age between 8 and 14.
A school with an asbestos roof next to a dump. My God. You can see the fibers like these tiles breaking down.
There's not even any form of fencing.
No.
People are coming and going.
No warnings.
People are walking, yeah. And it's just open like this, you know?
Tell them it's not necessary to do this. Ze proberen te bewijzen dat het echt vervuild is, maar dat hoeven ze ook niet te doen. Hè. Je ziet het zo bloot liggen hier. When did this start?
92 to 98.
92, 98, so that's ETEX.
Yeah.
ETEX time.
Yeah. For the case in Belgium, I got in touch with the Canadian scientists, and they did a survey, and they found that there was nearly 600,000 square meters of asbestos waste in this area. 600,000.
1,000?
Yeah. Largest asbestos waste dump in India and possibly even South Asia.
600,000 square meters is the equivalent of 120 football fields.
people bought this land. And when they started building houses, they found it under the ground. 3,000 people are living on asbestos waste.
You can see this fiber, asbestos waste. My God.
तुमको मालूम है क्या फाइबर है?
तुम्हारे पास रहने की जगह नहीं, कहाँ जाओगे? तुम तो समुद्र के किनारे भी रहने को तैयार हो जाओ। क्योंकि जमीन नहीं है भाई, रहने के लिए आवास तो चाहिए।
समुद्र किनारे रहोगे तो
जमीन नहीं है, मैं दिलवाता जमीन। मेरे से बोलो ना, मेरे पड़ोस में जमीन पड़ी हुई है।
You are totally responsible for this.
अगर कोई काम करने लगे तो उसमें
full responsibility.
Yeah, of course. You are totally responsible. क्यों यहाँ पे बना रहे हो? ये मत रुको।
Come on.
Well, you know, this whole area is loaded with asbestos waste. Why are you willing to make your own houses here?
The point is that these are all poor people, yeah. And they've got this land, and you know they're not told about the waste, and as a consequence, they're building on it.
Now they are aware of this. Before making this building, they were aware of this fact.
As an international activist, Eric has come to Kaimor to aid Tublu with his legal case against ETEX Eternit.
Hello. Hello again. I need to see how Capelle has been reproduced, you know, duplicated. Looks like they did such a good job.
When Eternit bought the subsidiary they had the factory in Mulund, in Kaimor, in Calcutta and in Coimbatore, and the factory in Mulund shut down and they opened another one in Nasik in 95.
95? You are telling me that even though they knew that asbestos was dangerous and they were going to stop, you know, forced to stop in Belgium in 98, 3 years before that deadline, they opened up a new one in India.
They had a thick skin and they thought that they could continue manufacturing asbestos, knowing what they knew about the circumstances of asbestos-related diseases in Europe.
This is what makes me mad and what makes me travel the world, because that must stop. One, two, three. Et voilà.
Very good.
You see?
This was taken at least 40 years back.
Is that you?
No.
No.
How can I take picture? There was no technology like this in those days, no selfie.
Okay.
My colleagues, friends, they are all expired. I am serving since 37. Why fiber has not attacked me? And people, those who work 10 years, 5 years, ladies, available, they are all expired.
So did you have a chance to meet any Belgians?
Mr. J. Stephen Art, उनका नाम था.
Stephen Art, huh?
Stephen Art.
I know the name.
अब वो कहाँ से थे? बेल्जियम से थे या वो उनने डिप्यूट किया था उनको यहाँ बेल्जियम ग्रुप ने एज एमडी. तो हम तो यही समझते हैं कि वो बेल्जियम से हैं.
Unlike a lot of multinational companies, Eternit was a very hands-on company in terms of how they operated. They really wanted to know what was going on.
Are you aware of the danger of the fibers?
जहाँ हम लोग खेलते थे वो भी एक एवरेस्ट का ग्राउंड था. वो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता था, लेकिन थोड़े दिनों में देखता था मैं कि बहुत कचरा रहता था और हमें मजबूरी में कचरे में ही खेलना पड़ता था. लेकिन चाहते हैं कि वो कचरा काफ़ी साफ़ हो।
And then I received another strange email from Rob Moore, the British filmmaker, in which he states that Tublu tells me things are going well with your project, and I'd be happy to ask my sister if she knows people who could be interested. His sister Charlotte Moore is an executive at the BBC. It gave me hope that our story could be broadcasted worldwide, but I was soon swept up in the devastating effects of asbestos in Kaimor.
You have asbestosis? How many percent is it?
20% was there. I know I am suffering more, but it is all right. In X-ray it is 20% because I can't breathe properly. When I walk, I go from here to up to the temple. I become breathless.
फाइबर
जी जी गीला वाला जो घोर के जैसे सीट बनती थी।
तुमको कितना दर्द होता है छाती में? He should have 2.88. That's 2 liters. It should be. He has got 1.69. Based on these factors, I've given him a disability of 30%. 30.
A man of 50 in his 50s, and he did his 56 years old. He also worked with his hands in raw asbestos and put it up and put it in machine. Or did the situation of working with raw asbestos change when ethics came, or was it the same?
हेलमेट वगैरह की व्यवस्था हुई थी सर कि जिसमें लगे ना कुछ मतलब उसमें तो हेलमेट मिला था पहनने को।
Only helmets.
What can you do?
To protect their heads, not protect to their lungs.
To protect their lungs, they give helmets.
Yeah.
In a document of Ethics Eternit of 81 we can read, it was important that the relevant home-based standards should be applied to subsidiaries. Yet, we discovered that these standards were never applied. And the reason why they were never applied is also to be found in the same document. The asbestos and health issue in most developing countries is not yet acute. Inspired by his father, who organized similar makeshift medical centers, Tublu started working in India as a volunteer.
We're looking at the length of time that they're exposed to asbestos. They're only exposed to asbestos through their husband's clothes when they were married. So we need to find out when they were married to see when they were exposed.
He helps the people of Kaimor and the surrounding area with their medical documents.
Voor mij wel speciaal om dat logo hier in India terug te zien. Als ik die Everest eraf laat, dan ben ik terug thuis.
Dr. Kapas, ciao. Dr. Kapas. Next.
I'm a surgeon. I was an associate professor. I was a lecturer in a department. I don't need money from occupational medicine. You can only earn money if you work for the company. But if you work for the company, you cannot diagnose occupational disease. So the only way you can do it if you do voluntary work.
बहुत तकलीफ होती है, अब क्या करें, मजबूरी में किसी को बोलते नहीं साहब, क्या करें हम, करेंगे नौकरी चली जाएगी हमारी, लड़कियां मेरी जवान लड़कियां, एक लड़का पढ़ रहा मेरा, अब नहीं करूँगा तो खाएंगे कहाँ से हम लोग साहब?
They'll continue to work because there is no other source of employment. Their life, if they don't work, they will die. If they work, they will die. I mean, it's like that. But at least they will live for some more time when they work. If they work, if they don't work, they will die immediately because they don't have money to eat. So he has got a disability percentage around 60%, 60. He has change of voice, loss of weight, loss of appetite, cannot eat, cannot drink, probably has got laryngeal cancer due to asbestosis. He lives on the top of the mountain there and he needs some proper treatment. It's frustrating actually for a medical doctor not to be able to treat him completely, you know.
When it was made clear to me that my wife is also suffering, I was not happy. I want her to live with me forever. But whatever there is, we have to face it.
Why everyone has to die? I will die sooner or later, isn't it? It is the philosophy of life. Everyone has to die.
This is what I will like her. This is why I like her. But it will take time because the percentage is very low. We will take care of her.
Don't take any care, please.
Father Joseph, you've been priest here for how long?
3 years.
You already did a few burials?
Oh, yes. Even recently, one boy, you just 39 years old. So from
39?
39 only. Yes. He just died. He had breathing problem. The factory setup was such a huge thing, but they did not provide a proper medical facility here, even for a daily checkup. Any person who is in a very sudden and serious situation, only option left to me is die.
And again, there are no official scientific statistics in India.
Conservative estimates are that 100,000 people are affected by asbestos-related diseases in India every year. Every year, but go unrecorded. It's already globally the largest occupational disease, asbestos use, globally, and this is going to be replicated in this country. It's going to be huge.
So there are no option. So in poverty there is no option. Father, please pray for us. That's the only option.
"600 people visited the makeshift medical center. The number of people diagnosed with asbestosis is 125. For his lawsuit against Etex Eternit, Tublu writes down all of their testimonies.
But on most papers I can see the name Eternit, Etex, and for that period there's no compensation, right?
For that period, there's no compensation. In 1993, during the time of Eternit, the Central Pollution Control Board in New Delhi did a survey of all of these factories, including the one here and the ones in Mumbai and Calcutta, and they found that they were unsafe in the sense of they weren't complying with the environmental laws. Had what the Central Pollution Control Board had found had it been properly applied in all of these places after 1993, then it's quite possible that none of these people would be sick now.
We would like to thank you for welcoming us. You have opened your doors so we could talk with you, we could meet new faces. My mother, she was 66 years old, this big, and she was mad. We trusted Eternit. They said it was not dangerous, but we realized that they lied. We hope that the polluters will be taken to justice and will pay for the cleanup. Do you play here?
Football.
Football? Volleyball?
Volleyball.
Cricket?
Cricket.
What do you think of fiber?
बीमारी होती है इससे
Okay.
हमारे अम्मा के विचार मेरे दादा दादी के
There is nothing we can do for the people who passed away. But we must be thinking about the future generation. It's time that Eternit pays compensation.
Eternit को देना होगा.
Yes.
Eternit को देना होगा. Eternit को देना होगा. Eternit को देना होगा.
I am feeling very sad for you, you know.
I can thank
No.
you.
Don't say thank you. It brings the tears on my eyes. See, you have a great loss.
That's okay.
I will fully cooperate you on my level. I will try to make the people know about this. I will bring your work up. After when you go, after that I will cooperate you. I will make the people to know about the harm of the asbestos.
Do that.
After 16 long years in the case of Françoise Jonker versus Ethics Eternit, the family's lawyer is finally handed an official verdict, which is discussed amongst the family.
Ils sont beaucoup plus austères dans leurs mots que le premier juge, hein? Mais ils reconnaissent la responsabilité. Le point négatif, c'est qu'ils diminuent, mais de façon drastique, les indemnités. Ils les réduisent au total à 25 000.
Moi, je pense que l'argent n'a jamais été un problème pour eux, mais c'est la responsabilité qui l'est.
Ok, ça c'est un autre. Ça c'est quand la police est
Ja, dans la lumière, Jan. Dans la lumière.
Het Hof erkent de verantwoordelijkheid van Eternit en stelt dus dat Eternit als multinational wereldspeler wist, of had moeten weten minstens, dat de blootstelling aan asbest mesoteliom kon veroorzaken en dat ze dat moesten weten sinds het midden van de jaren 60. Het is een beetje David tegen Goliath. Goliath verslaan verdraagt een beetje meer tijd dan wanneer men met gelijke wapens strijdt.
C'est bon. Aujourd'hui, Françoise Jonker a gagné son combat. Famille Emsens, vous avez écrit une page des plus sombres de l'essor industriel de la Belgique. Vous fabriquez des toits, mais vous préférez l'ombre. Nous avons pu prouver à la Cour qu'ils savaient. Ils savaient.
Ik ben blij dat vonnis bevestigd is. Anders was het wel een beetje wrang geweest, denk ik, voor alle slachtoffers. Niet alleen de familie van Erik, maar voor iedereen, denk ik. En dat het ook een beetje een erkenning is voor alle asbestslachtoffers.
Françoise, tu t'es endormie confiante. Repose désormais en paix, à côté de Pierre, Pierre-Paul et Stéphane. We love you. We miss you.
C'est très vrai. Alors je ne peux pas me taire. Et je crie. Et il faut que je tienne le coup jusqu'à ce que tout ça soit... je partirai contente. Parce que l'échéance est là.
E viva la multinazionale delle vittime!
Sì, viva la multinazionale delle vittime!
It's now time that Eternit understood and accepted they can't hide anymore. We had a Japanese victim here today. She has come to show her solidarity. hopefully other Eternit victims will come to Belgium and claim compensation. The time is up. Eternit must accept its responsibility.
Eric's victory has opened the doors for other claimants all over the world. I joined Tublu in London to discuss whether he saw an opportunity for the numerous victims of Kaimor. But Tublu had some unsettling news. He asked me what my precise connection was to British filmmaker Rob Moore.
After a while, you start emailing and phoning and giving numbers of other people. At a certain point, he came to my village. He's a very nice guy.
I was wrong. Tublu revealed that Rob Moore was a corporate spy.
Rob Moore rang, and I said, Rob, there are allegations that you've been working as a spy for the asbestos industry. And he said, it's completely true. I've been working as a spy for the asbestos industry for the past 4 years. And he said, do you feel betrayed? I was completely in shock, finding out that a friend of mine, or somebody I thought was a friend of mine, was spying for the very industry that I'd been working against, campaigning against, endangering my life. You know, I just collapsed literally for about at least 4 or 5 days. It was kind of like just getting up and doing things automatically without even really thinking about it, you know?
Rob Moore now claims to have been a double agent, but the fact remains that he infiltrated numerous anti-asbestos movements throughout the world. His spying gathered information of activists from India, Thailand, Indonesia, and Vietnam. Information that could be used to hinder their work and their claims against the asbestos industry. Activists can now be threatened and killed.
One of the things that makes me angry is that there's the names and identities and photographs and voice recordings of all of these people without their permission. There are photographs in these files of him sitting with people who are dying from mesothelioma in Vietnam. So he is sitting with mesothelioma victims and using them as a cover to spy for the asbestos industries. That really is something that makes me angry. We don't know whether that's all of the documents that he gave the asbestos industry, but we don't know where the chain ends. So they could well have shared it with the Russian asbestos industry and other people as well.
Or to Everest.
And to Everest. E-Tex. Brother of BBC boss was paid to spy on asbestos campaign. And then you find out that he was paid £460,000. By anyone's standards, it's a huge amount of money.
Asbestos is still being mined in Brazil, China, and in Russia, in a town called Asbest. It is still exported to countries like India. It's a billion-dollar business. Turns out, Rob Moore's spying was funded by the biggest asbestos mining company in Kazakhstan. It proves how far they are willing to go to stop the banning of asbestos.
Yes, Nirmala. Namaste. How are you? I'm so happy to see you.
I was very worried, I don't know who will meet me here.
I am here.
Okay, thank you.
For the first time in her life, Nirmala traveled by plane. It's a big day. She's invited to speak in Geneva, in front of the United Nations, at the Business and Human Rights Forum.
Human right is to live healthy, peacefully, and happily. And other rights are governed by only this right. The people, those have poor, they have the right. But the people, those are more rich, they snatch their right.
Nirmala parle au nom des victimes de l'Inde, mais quelque part, ce sont toutes les victimes de l'amiante qui aujourd'hui vont prendre la parole. Donc,
une autre mère.
Une autre mère qui parle, une mère qui voit ses enfants perdre la santé.
Tu espères de rencontrer quelqu'un d'ETHICS ici?
Secrètement, j'ai quelque espoir que la direction, que le CEO viendra, mais je ne pense pas. Mais je pense par contre qu'ils auront eu soin d'envoyer quelqu'un avec des grandes oreilles.
ETHICS Eternit declined to participate in our film because not all conditions are sufficiently yet in order to respond positively to your request.
You're here to fight for the rights of the people of Kajar. You're not nervous?
Not at all. Why should I be?
I don't know. It's many people from all over the world come to listen to you.
Don't make me nervous. Huh? If I'm not, you are making. Hi friends, I'm Nirmala. I have come from India. In my area, I have seen so many people. They are living a painful life, going to the claws of the death. Whatever is when happened. But now I'm worried about the coming generation. They should not suffer for this. What can I do? After retirement, how can I help them? So I had the three thoughts. First thought was that the asbestos waste, they should be treated immediately. The second thing, some compensation should be given to the victims. And the third thing, now the asbestos should be banned totally. Am I right? Don't you think in this way? See, I think we all have taken birth here barehanded, and we have to go barehanded only. So why to go after money? We should get what we need only. This is all temporary. Once you are close to the God, only one thing is left: love. Right? So greediness is not a good thing. People should not be greedy. Am I right?
Chrysotile asbestos is still not on the list of banned products. During the assembly of the Rotterdam Convention, countries take decisions on which hazardous chemicals will be banned. The convention needs the consensus of all the member states.
And that brings us now to the next issue, which would be chrysotile asbestos. Russia, you have the floor.
Спасибо, уважаемый господин председатель. Поддержать включение хризотилового асбеста в приложении 3 до получения и объективного рассмотрения убедительных.
Zimbabwe foresees listing and inclusion having serious negative effects on trade. The risk of developing chrysotile asbestos-related diseases is very low.
Major producing countries have blocked it since 2006. Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Russia, Zimbabwe, and India.
We have committed ourselves for providing housing for all. At least for a couple of more years, we would be required to go along with this chemical. Anything which is created man-made has ill effects. The only difference is the quantity and the exposure, isn't it?
You sound like a real specialist. Are you specialized in?
No. I am a diplomat. So, just to put forward our argument in, you can say, more decent way, without offending anyone's feelings, I have gone into the details.
Well, I hope one day your country will manage also to ban asbestos.
Of course.
And it looks like it's gonna take some time, but in the end...
I mean, let me tell you that it will die its natural death.
I wasn't under the impression that asbestos would die a natural death. And meanwhile, more and more people die. During the convention, I tried to talk to representatives of the Russian asbestos industry.
Hello, sir. Do you speak English? Only Russian? Can I talk to you about the situation in Kazakhstan and Russia? No. Why not? We are here for an open discussion, sir. Er gebeurt in Capelle ook. Die mensen willen niet met u praten. Code of silence.
Я бы хотел обратить внимание на те моральные аспекты, о которых здесь уже говорились. Мы с вами четко понимаем, что запрет его использования обусловит утрату сотен тысяч профессиональных рабочих мест. Кто из присутствующих готов к сокращению рабочих мест в своих странах?
86% of lung cancer is by tobacco, various kind of its uses. There is no statistics available anywhere. International authentic data says what is the lung cancer percentage on account of cresotile asbestos.
Полагаем, что включение хризотилового асбеста в приложение 3, что может повлечь за собой серьезные негативные последствия для экономики целого ряда стран.
A required consensus is not reached.
I propose that we simply forward the issue to the next COP, to the consideration for the next COP.
The decision to ban asbestos is once again postponed. Under a new rule by the Environmental Protection Agency, asbestos is now legally allowed back into US manufacturing. A Russian mining company puts Trump's face on its asbestos products. Too many people have died, continue dying, and will die because of asbestos. One can only admire the courage and determination of ordinary people who take action and make a difference. But it looks like the fight for justice will continue well into the 21st century. My father and I had our differences, but I think he would agree that if we allow companies to keep putting profit over people, this vicious circle of greed will continue for eternity.